Greetings, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to my new Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast series. We have been overwhelmed with the responses that people have shared from listening to these messages on my SiriusXM show over the years. Those listeners, and they're sharing my show with their network, telling people about it, telling their family members, their friends, and their coworkers about this show and the impact it's having on their lives. That's the main reason that this show is now number one for self-help in America, and I'm very grateful. Yet, we realize that many people do not have satellite radio, and therefore could not experience for themselves the message. They could not get it for themselves. So we are now sharing these messages with everyone via this new podcast. Enjoy it and share it with your network. And let's help even more people to do more, be more, and achieve more. Tell everybody so that they can live a Wealthy Ways life as well. Welcome to the new Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. And remember, your best is yet to come.
Named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world.
Inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame.
Award-winning singer.
Best-selling author.
And now, here's Willie Jolley.
You're tired of crying and complaining, tired of feeling like life don't treat you fair. Do you see so many others moving on while you're steady going nowhere? Have you maybe come to the conclusion that there's nothing at all that you can do? Well, just look in any mirror and you'll see who is really truly stopping you. My mind. It's up to every one of us to take charge of our life and to make it what we want. If you think that it takes too much time, think again, 'cause I'm telling you it don't. The fact is, it only takes a minute to make up your mind that now is your time to make your run. It only takes a minute, 60 seconds to begin to decide to win. Just get it on. Just get it on.
That's right, folks. I am back on the air another time. This is Dr. Willie Jolley across America from coast to coast, border to border. And yes, I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it forced upon me. It can't refuse it. Didn't seek it. I didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it. Give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but an eternity is in it. Greetings to everybody, and I'm hoping you are having an incredible day. If you're not, stay tuned because you're going to be blessed today. I've got a great guest on, and I want to make sure you know that this is going to be a show that you're going to want to tell everybody about. You're going to want to go and listen to. You're going to want to make sure that you listen to every time it airs. As you know, I air on 3 times the same interview, 3 times per week, Saturday afternoons at 4, Monday mornings at 8 a.m., and then again Wednesday mornings at 11. So if you miss one, you can hear it again, or you can listen to all 3 because you're going to want to listen to this one over and over and over again. I want you to take out a pad, a piece of paper, because you're going to be blessed today. And, you know, I am excited about every time, but this is a special one for me. Now, before I get started, you know, I start every show with the same thing, giving God glory, giving him praise, giving him honor, and worshiping him for what he has done. You know, the Bible says you cannot worship 2 masters, and I serve 2 masters. That's really what it says. The word is serve. And in the Greek, that means that serve has multiple meanings. First is serve in a worship capacity, but then we serve each other and we do service to mankind. And then we have money because that is important because we must let it serve us. We must let it be used by us to do the good that we want to do, to have the kind of lives we want to have. So we want to make sure that you understand that because we're going to talk about how you can grow yourself, grow your future, and grow your money. And God has blessed you with the opportunity to be in America where you can do it. And that's one of the reasons I'm bringing this up because my guest is going to profoundly share with you how that has impacted his life. Now, first, before that, after giving God the glory, I always take a moment to say, please go to williejolly.com, sign in, get some of the information that we put free for you. Go to williejolly.com/free. You can hear some of these interviews. You can hear some of the programs we've done, music, all sorts of things to just inspire you, because we want to change people's thinking so they can change and transform their lives. williejolly.com/free. Well, my guest today is one of my dear friends. He's a dear, dear friend. He also is a mentor. And that's important for you to know, because if you've heard me speak, often I will tell about him from the stage and some of the lessons I've learned from him. He is one of those people who are just blessed by the Lord and blessed by God to be a blessing to others. He came to America as a teenager. He came not knowing much about English, the language English. He had to learn and teach himself how to speak more proficiently. He had $50 in his pocket. His mother sent him because his father had died when he was 6 years old. And his mother taught him and inspired him and empowered him to be great. He came to America, and he went on to do exactly what his mom taught him to do. He has become one of the greatest philanthropists in America. I would say from that $50, he now has amassed millions, but that would not be what he would want to say. He says that's success. He wants to talk about significance, and significance is always about what you do for others. And he has been a philanthropist who's given multiple millions of dollars to students, to worthy programs. He has gone on to become one of the top speakers in America. He's in the Speakers Hall of Fame. He's been given the Golden Gavel by Toastmasters International. He was named the Business Speaker of the Year by the 175,000 members of Toastmaster. I'm honored that I was on the same page that day when he was given one of the top 5 speakers in the world. I was also in that group, and we've become friends, even greater friends as a result of that. But more importantly, he's gone on from speaking to being a consultant to be a bank owner of a bank, and then become a board member of BB&T Bank. He is I could go through his resume, but the most important thing right now is what he's doing now. He's working to make a difference in the future of the world, not just America. He is the president of High Point University and has transformed this university from a sleepy little southern college to one of America's premier educational facilities. He has transformed it. He has built just buildings. He's raised money. He's increased the student population by 4 to 5-fold. He is an incredible entrepreneur. Has won the Horatio Alger Award. Has been given the Ellis Island Award for excellence. He is my dear friend, and I could go on and on because I just am so grateful for his friendship. The one and only Dr. Nido Qubein. Nido, are you there?
I am here indeed. I am privileged to be with you, Dr. Willie Jolley. I've known you for years. I've only grown with my admiration for you, not only for all the wonderful things that you do, but for the person that you are, for the lives that you've touched, and for the incredible memory you have. What you just said about me, not everyone knows that. They know sort of the published introduction, but we've known each other for probably 3 decades.
Yes.
And I can vouch honestly and forthrightly that I have watched God work in your life and in your family's life, and how you were a starving speaker.
Absolutely.
And became America's #1 motivator, and you just have appeared on more platforms, inspired more people, helped more companies, and coached more individuals than anyone I know. So Willie, anytime I can be with you and share the platform with you, whether it's on the airways or in person, it is my privilege, and I regard it as a great honor. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, my pleasure, and thank you for coming. Now, I gave them the thumbnail sketch, but you can kind of, I love when you tell about the story your mother told you, to send you from her home to America, and what she instructed to you. If you'd share that with people, because it has a profound impact on the impact of your future.
Well, you know, Willie, my mother had 4th grade education, but she had a postgraduate degree in uncommon sense. I mean, this woman just knew how to think and how to think vertically and diagonally. She understood the essence of life. She had both faith and courage. She had faithful courage. And when my father died, I was 6 at the time, she had to learn to become a seamstress so she can feed us and clothe us. 5 of us in the family, 3 boys, 2 girls. I was the youngest. And more importantly, to instill in us values for living and principles for life. It is these principles really that influenced me as a human being, that formed my search for significance in life, and it is these fundamentals that really helped me in any business I was in, whether it's advertising or publishing or retailing or banking or even today as president of High Point University in High Point, North Carolina. So my mother would say these things to us. She'd say, look, who you spend time with is who you become. So when you go to America, just remember, if you want to be great, you must first walk hand in hand and side by side with great people. In other words, if you're going to be happy, hang around happy ones. You're going to be successful, be in circles of influence with successful people. Don't waste time with those who are going to rob you of your God-given talents and your God-given potential. And, you know, I tell a story about the koi fish that maybe is what you're referring to.
Mm-hmm.
You take a koi fish, you put in a fish bowl, you give it all the water you want to give it, all the food you want to give it. The koi fish never grows to more than about 2 inches in size. But if you were to take the koi fish out of the fish bowl and put it in a lake somewhere, the koi fish somehow grows to about a foot in size. And the moral of the story is that the koi fish grows proportionately to the environment in which it lives. So when it was in that little fish bowl, it had nothing to worry about. Nobody was trying to eat it. Somebody was feeding it and tending to its needs. It didn't have to grow. But the moment you put in a big lake where the water is deeper and therefore colder, then those bigger fishes had one thing on their mind: how quickly can I eat that koi fish? And that's life, Willie. Out of adversity, life can be difficult, and life could be filled with adversity. But to those who have faith and courage, they know also that out of adversity can emerge abundance. And that's really what my mother was saying, that do not begrudge adversity. It makes you stronger. It makes you wiser. It makes you more capable. And so the koi fish becomes bigger by necessity because of the adversity of the atmospherics, and it grows. And that growth makes it live and live a longer life. So that was lesson 1. Lesson 2, she would say, look, what you choose is what you get. So would you please quit whining about your circumstances in life? Because your circumstances do not define the person you become. It's your choices that define that. And your present circumstances cannot define the person you will become or the goals that you will achieve. It can only define where you start, not where you finish.
Absolutely. Wow. Woo, folks, you getting it. And that's why I told you, you've got to make sure that you will get this information and listen to this, because you're going to get so many pearls in this interview. We've got Dr. Nido Qubein on, president of High Point University. We'll be right back after this break, because we got so much more. And we want to talk about how you can transform your future and transform your life. This is Dr. Willie Jolley across America. And for sure, the best is yet to come.
My dreams on the ground. Life had enough ups and downs. But Lord, since I met you, all that's changed in the blink of an eye. Now all my heart wants to do is fly. You put wings on my dreams and overcame my fear of heights. Now how high will I fly? If I dare to touch the sky, oh,
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and if you're enjoying this information you're hearing on this podcast, I want to invite you to get even more great information on my new free gift page on my website. Go to wjspeaks.com and hit the All Access badge. On that page, you will find information and resources specifically designed to help you to have greater success. Free ebooks, music, all sorts of interesting and informational interviews for my XM show. I'm telling you, this is a great page. And why do I do it? Because I've learned that the more we give, the more we get. And the more we help other people to grow and go to the next level, the more we receive in our business. So we want to help you. Tell your friends about it. Go to Facebook and get my information. Go to my website, get my free resources, and get on wjspeaks.com and hit that All Access badge. It looks like a backstage pass. Click it. You'll get behind the scenes information to the special page to help you grow. All we want in return, all we ask is that you pass it on, because the more you give, the more you get. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Have a great day.
A to the D to the T to the I to the T to the U to the D to the E. A to the T to the T to the I to the T to the U to the E to the E. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude.
1 8-letter word. And we're back. If you're just joining me, you're in for a treat. Today's guest is my dear friend. He's my mentor, one of my dear mentors, and I've got so many. I was with Les Brown just recently. He's a mentor. We had, all of us had a dear friend, Zig Ziglar, who was a mentor, W. Mitchell, mentor, and I've had so many of them on the show. And I always am grateful because this show now has become the number one motivational show, self-help show, but it's not because of me. It's because of the friends and the network that I have been able to be blessed with over the years, who have been gracious enough to take time out of their schedules, and they're all busy, and come and share with you, my guest, ideas to help you. And in doing that, they've helped me to grow my profile, and I'm grateful for that. Well, one of those guests is the one and only Dr. Nido Qubein. He's the president of High Point University. They have, in just a few years, they have become the number one destination for young students to go to, and he has invited on the campus so many great people: Steve Wozniak, General Colin Powell, Rudy Giuliani, Buzz Aldrin, Seth Godin, John Maxwell, many more. They come to High Point, and I tell people all the time, I've told so many of my friends and people I just meet and greeting as I go around the country, when they're talking about their children going to college, I say, you should consider High Point University. They say, why? I said, because very few universities understand the importance of attitude, about excellence, and about leadership, and how not just to assume people would get those when they go into the work world, but that they put programs and courses and efforts to try and build your leadership, your attitude, your excellence, because everybody I know, every CEO I've ever spoken with, I've asked, what are your core values? Somewhere in there is going to say attitude, excellence, and character and leadership. Somewhere in there they're going to say that. And if you don't teach it, how will they know it? So, Dr. Qubein, thank you for being on with us. Real quick, before I go more into your story, because your story is so phenomenal, you have built this university into a world-class, top-line university. I remember when you first took over, because we came and Dee and I stayed with you at your home, and we discussed what you were going to do. Well, you have done it, and even more. What is the principles that you use to transform this college into one of America's great universities?
Well, you have seen it. You're right, Willie. You're one of the few who's really seen it evolve.
Yes.
And it has evolved in a magical way. On a quantitative basis, we went from 1,400 undergraduate students to about 4,400. We went from 92 acres landlocked in the middle of an urban area to about 400 acres. And we went from number 17 on U.S. News & World Report ranking best college in the South to number 1 3 years running. And in the process, of course, we invested $1.2 billion in the university and raised hundreds of millions of dollars and did it all smack dab in the eye of the storm. We called it the Great Recession, the most disrupted economic time in the last 70 years of America's history. And, Willie, we did it because we believe in the principle called the art of the possible, that there are no such things as unrealistic dreams, only unrealistic timelines, that those who are willing to work hard enough and smart enough and have heroes, models, and mentors in their life, those who are willing to examine their beliefs and improve them in such a way that therefore their behaviors are enhanced and therefore the results are better, those people are going to do well regardless of what economic circumstances we may be in or what the climate around us might be. And so that's what we did. And some of the principles that I think, got you interested in High Point University, and you've recommended many students to come to the school, and for that we're very grateful. You've spoken on our campus.
Yep.
The truth is, Willie, that we adhere to the fundamentals that built America in the first place. We tell families and their students, we're not trying to graduate students for the world as it is, but rather for the world as it is going to be. We tell them we're not trying to graduate job takers, we're trying to graduate job creators. We tell them we don't weed people out of this system, we weave them into the family. We tell them, look, you can no longer compete on a continental stage. You now must compete on a global platform. Countries like BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, countries beyond and countries in the middle. And the one driving principle is that you must have an entrepreneurial spirit. That these students are going to have dozens of jobs in their career, and they must be flexible, they must be nimble, they must understand that taking risk out of life is taking opportunity out of life. They must acknowledge that God created them to be extraordinary, and therefore they must work hard and smart to achieve their potential and become all that they can become.
Absolutely. And that's what you have done in your life. You have been willing to take risk, and you have been willing to see from those risk opportunities. So you come to America, you have $50 to your name. Your mama sends you, say, walk with the great, talk with the great, and you will be great. You start a process, and someone blesses you, though, in the process, Nido. You want to go to school, but you don't have any money. Tell us what happened then.
Well, Willie, it's I just do what you talk about in your speeches all the time, which is you're going to be open to opportunities.
Yes.
God has a way of planting seeds of greatness in your brain, in your heart, in your soul, but you must be open to it. You must be receptive to it. Those who are willing to receive with gratitude are much more likely to be given with pleasure. And so there I was in a little school in eastern North Carolina, and I was going to graduate. This was a 2-year school. I was going to graduate, and the president said to me, he said, I know that you work very hard to go to school. You work 10 hours a day to pay your way through school. But he said there was a chasm between the money you owed the school and the money you paid the school. And you just might like to know that a doctor in a neighboring city picked up the tab for the difference. Well, now, Willie, somebody says that to you, it just touches your heart. What do you do?
Yes.
I went back to my dorm, and I knelt by the side of my bed, and I gave God the glory, and I wept like a baby. But on that day, I made a commitment, my friend. I made a commitment. Now, look, you make a decision with your brain. You make a commitment with your heart. That's why commitments are harder to break. That's why commitments live so much longer. And my commitment was that as soon as I graduate and get a job and start something, I didn't know what I would be doing, and have a little bit of money, I will contribute money to help somebody go to college, just like I was helped anonymously by this doctor who wished to remain unknown. And as you know, Willie, now we've helped about 700 students go to college, and that began with $500. I was literally living on frozen dinners in my first couple of years starting a business. Put all the money I had in the business, $500, started the business, worked 17 hours a day, 7 days a week. And literally that year, I took $500, the only money I had, and we gave it away as a scholarship. Since then, we've given millions of dollars. You know, William Barclay, the Scottish theologian, says something absolutely beautiful. William Barclay said, always give without remembering. Always receive without forgetting. That's kind of the mantra you've lived your life by. That's kind of the mantra I hope to live my life by every day, acknowledging that we should enjoy the gifts that we have in our life, but to always keep our eyes on the giver.
Amen. And folks, he has done that, and he has inspired me and my wife that one of our goals, as we continue to do every year, is to give some sort of scholarship, book help, or something to some student that we look for. And we tell you, and this is where I'm sure Nido is the same. We haven't talked about in great deal how he does the scholarships, but we said we want a student not just in need, but someone who's showing some signs of excellence, who just needs help. Because if you're showing signs of excellence, then you're not just waiting for somebody to come do something for you because you've got a need. Lots of folks have need, but you're working toward your goals and dreams, and we see that excellence in you. We want to be a blessing to help you as we were helped. I got scholarships from the United Methodist Church from undergrad as well as seminary, and I now want to make a difference and so forth. And so I gave that seminary a little piece of money, as my mama would say, at the end of last year, to say thank you for what you've been to me. And I learned that from a Nido Qubein. I saw how he did it consistently and how he was committed to that, and how even today as president of High Point, he still blesses young people. Well, you go on and you get this scholarship, you go on to school, you start speaking. I think you started speaking at churches and youth groups, and you built your business working just like a dog, hard as you can be. And then you started making some investments. Now let's talk about your thinking. What made you when you gave when you didn't have a lot to give, and you started investing when you had very little to give? Talk about that, Nido.
Yeah, I mean, it's look, the results that you get in your life are based on what you do and the actions that you take, and people want to have happiness in their life, but they forget that what leads to happiness ultimately is purpose. If you have the right purpose, you get passion. If you have passion, you have energy. If you have energy, you'll take action. If you take action, you're likely to succeed. And if you succeed, you're much more likely to create significance in your life, and that leads to happiness. So for me, I took some risks, Willie. In the 70s, I started my business and sold it. I began to speak everywhere, make a little money. In the 80s, a couple of guys and I started a bank. That multiplied, became very, very strong, was bought up by a large bank on whose corporate board I serve today.
BB&T.
Right,
you don't have to say it. I'll say it for you.
Yeah, BB&T Corporation, very large corporation.
Yeah, done pretty good.
Yeah, about $220 billion in size. And then I did other things like that. In the year 2000, we bought a company called Great Harvest Bread Company, and that prospered. But the point is, I've been involved in dozens of business activities, and had 30 years in business, of course, before I came to High Point University to become president. And in part, we've succeeded because I understood business principles and was able to respect the protocol of the academy, while at the same time bring fundamentals that can propel us forward. But ultimately, what I've discovered is that the most successful and the happiest people I know tend to invest 1/3 of their life in earning, 1/3 of their life in learning, and 1/3 of their life in serving.
Ooh. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back, or we're going to jump right back into that because that's profound. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Hold on. We're back with Dr. Nido Qubein, and he said if you're going to be most successful, you take 1/3 of your life in earning, 1/3 of your life in learning, and 1/3 of your life in serving. And I mean, you couldn't say it better. Nido, you have done that. You have built this iconic now. It's really iconic because people now who may have not known about you now know of you for so many. There was a PBS special, I believe it was, that recently was done on, was it a biography channel? That's it, biography channel special, Nido Qubein, A Life of Success and Significance. And it's a tremendous story how he came and has done so much by taking these principles. And what this shares with you folks is this. that you can do the same. You can change your life. You can transform your future. You can have a life of significance, not just success, but significance, so that you will leave a legacy that people will know about you 100 years from now, 200 years from now. It's not just what you do today. I am working right now because the Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's great-grandchildren. I'm working now not just for my son William and my daughter LaToya, but for all my grandchildren, but for their great-great-grandchildren. And I know that Nido is doing the same. And by the way, congratulations. I understand you have new additions to your home or your household or the Qubein family.
Yeah, my daughter had a baby 2-3 weeks ago. That makes 2 grandchildren, so we're very, very blessed.
Well, I was at both of the weddings, and both weddings were just, I've never been to a wedding like your weddings, Nido. I must tell you, your bathroom, the temporary bathroom, better than most people's homes.
The cameras picked you up eating too many shrimps, I'll tell you that.
Well, we had a great time at both, but you have built this mindset, and that's what I want to focus now, because you have taught me over the years, Willie, is about mindset. It's about mindset. You'll always talk about mindset. Let's talk about, because we got a lot of entrepreneurs, young business people who want to transform their lives. We got a lot of pastors who listen to this show every week. Let's talk about what it is, the mindset that you've instilled in me and so many others who have been going on to become, disciples of yours in somewhat, or mentees of yours who've done well. What's the power of the mindset?
Well, what you put inside your brain pretty much influences what you do in life, and what you do pretty much defines what you get out of life. And so mindset is everything. Some people think that they are mediocre. Some people believe that they're extraordinary. And both will act in ways that reflect how they feel about themselves. And so, garbage in, garbage stays, but so does wisdom. Wisdom in, wisdom stays. And so mindset is dependent on the beliefs that you hold and on the actions that you take. Now, I believe that the people who have the finest mindset adhere to these 3 points. Number one, they believe that average is out. So it doesn't matter how good you are at something. If in that group, if in that circle, you're average, you're just not going to get the most out of that situation. So average is out. Excellent is in. The question is, how do we define excellent? And the answer is with relevance. You have to see if what you do and what you believe and how you act is relevant. So the more relevant you are to your audience, to your company, the more relevant you are to the organization which you're involved in, the more value you're bringing, the more rewards you're going to receive. So that's a mindset. It's a mindset that says, I will not be average. I will seek to be excellent. I am committed to being relevant. I will not ask for people to give me things. I will contribute first. I will make this a better place. And then they simply cannot do it without me. Number two, you can no longer compete strictly with your strengths. You must compete with your differences. That's a mindset too. It's a mindset to say, it's not enough that I have a college degree or that I'm a good communicator or I can write well or I can get along with people well, because many people have those strengths. What we must say is, what's so different about me? As you know, at Hype University, I teach all the freshmen President's Seminar on Life Skills, and then I teach the seniors Seminar on Life Skills. And I begin the seniors class by saying, there are 1 million people in the world who can do what you can do. What is so special about you? Translate that into, how are you differentiated? Because if you're not differentiated, that means you're the same like everybody else. The third point is to have a growth mindset, not only a fixed mindset. So people who have a fixed mindset always use the past as a comparison, as a point of relativity for what they want to do. But people who have a growth mindset are looking towards the future. They're trying to step up and step out and say, the past is a wonderful place to live, but it's it's a wonderful place to visit, but it's a lousy place to live. So how can I plan, strategize, set goals that can take me to new and better places? Those tend to form the mindset of an individual, and that mindset tends to reward or punish that individual in a highly competitive, highly demanding, ever so changing marketplace. And so we have no choice but to say, what do I believe? How much capacity am I creating in the environment in which I work? And how relevant am I really to the people and situations in which I find myself?
Wow. Folks, you see why I told you to take notes. I'm telling you, every time I'm with Nido, I cannot take notes quick enough, fast enough. I've been in seminars with him over the years. Nido, in fact, Shep Hyken was on not long ago, and we were talking about coming to High Point. I think it was 2001, 2002, somewhere in there. We stayed with you for a few days, and we did our drawing of the playground or the park, the park.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you remember that. And I wrote in there how I envisioned my life. I envisioned these entrances with speaking and music and books. And then I started saying, well, why couldn't I do radio? And I started writing radio and television in the peripheries around the park and the amusement parkers. That's what it was. And today I still have that on my board, and I look at all of those things. We now have our nonprofit, Jolly Good News, which was something I just wrote and said that would be something I could envision for the future. And you talk about vision, and you inspired us to say, ladies and gentlemen, you must start thinking about not today, not tomorrow, but 10 years from now. And, now that's 12 or 14 years later, and many of those things are happening because you helped inspire me or push me to think about that. Let's talk about the power of the vision and how you have helped people to do that and why it's so profoundly impactful.
Well, everything starts with a clear vision. Everything that's going to succeed starts with a clear vision. If you have a clear vision, then you're capable to create a solid strategy. It's hard to create a strategy, and you define a strategy by asking 3 questions. Where am I now? Where do I want to end up? And how do I get there? It's very difficult to do that if you don't have a clear vision of what's important to you. So the vision comes first. When I came to High Point University, I said we want to be the kind of university where every student receives an extraordinary education in an inspiring environment with caring people. And we defined what we meant by those 3 elements: extraordinary education, inspiring environment, caring people. And then we began to strategize how we're going to deliver on that. And so it's a clear vision, it's a solid strategy, then it's practical systems. Really, this is where most people get hung up, is they let their dreams become more wishful thinking than practical thinking. And so what we have to do is use practical systems. We don't want to have Pollyanna thinking. We don't want to think in such big ways that really are not achievable given our resources and so on. But practical thinking says, let me be pragmatic, let me be practical, let me win it, one bit at a time, inch by inch. Life is a cinch. And then the last piece, of course, is consistent execution. This is where most people mess up, is the moment they fail at something, they're ready to hang it up. Instead of saying, failure could be very productive. In fact, in one of my books, I talk about productive failures versus non-productive successes. I say that, if you fail at something, you analyze how you failed, why you failed, you're apt not to repeat that same failure next time. Therefore, that was a good lesson. That was a really good thing that happened to you, not a bad thing. On the other hand, if you have non-productive successes, you do not know what caused that success. Therefore, you're incapable of replicating that success. And that's not really a good thing. You want to know what caused the success and what caused the failure, to avoid the latter and to do more of the former.
Wow, this is what I talk about, folks. This is why I want the Nido Qubeins on the Colin Powells, the Wally Famous Amoses, the Tom Hopkinses, the Les Browns, because they bring the next level of thinking. And that's what Nido Qubein has helped me to do over the years. He's helped me to think a different way. He's helped my wife to think a different way, help her to become a better entrepreneur, to run our company, help my son, who now is an attorney. He listens and learns from Nido Qubein. And And we want to encourage you. I want to, Nido, real quick, I want to make sure that people know where they can go get some of your books. And I know that you're focused now more on the High Point University, but you still sell books. You still sell your programs that are available online. Where can they get them, please?
Yes, it's very, very easy. It's Nido, Nido, Q, the letter Q right after it. So it's one word, NIDOQ. .com, and they'll find all kinds of stuff. Some of it is free. They can download all kinds of videos and all kinds of articles, and then the book CDs and DVDs and other stuff there. And if they want to learn more about Hype University, that's really easy. That's one word, HIGHPOINT, one word, High Point, one word, .edu.
Wow. So, folks, make sure you go. I want to encourage everybody. Particularly, I got a lot of pastors. Pastors, please go get the materials that Nido has at nidoq.com, because it will bless your thinking. He's a man of faith who also is a man of business, and he understands where they both intersect and how they work together and how God blesses us to be a blessing. And then High Point University, I'm going to encourage everybody who has a child. Listen, folks, listen carefully. And I don't make this kind of endorsement often. I'm encouraging every single solitary person who has a child in high school to go to High Point and visit before you make the decision. That's all I want you to do. I sent my nephew. He didn't want to go. He said, I'm not going to High Point. I'm not going to North Carolina. I said, just do me a favor as your uncle. Go and just visit. He said, And the next thing I know, he's sending me texts. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That Uncle Willie. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And now he's not only a student, he's on the honor roll. Where I just got the email from his dad. He's on the honor roll there at the dean's list there at High Point University, Jason Bortley. And so...
hey, Willie, he's not just smarter than you. He's better looking, too.
That's right. Absolutely. So we've got a lot of young people who've gone just on that recommendation. I encourage you. My friend Bill Cates, his daughter went. Many of our speaker buddies, children have gone, and just go to visit. You will, if nothing else, what you will do if you go to visit, you will be inspired about the possibilities. We're going to take a quick break. We got one more segment, so stay tuned. This is Dr. Willie Jolley across America, and for sure, the best is yet to come. Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and for years I've told people that in order to have a greater life, it starts by having greater individual days. If you have a great day and you repeat that great day 7 times, you've had a great week. And you repeat that week 4 times, you've had a greater month. And then repeat that month 12 times, you've had a greater year, and you're on your way to a greater life. And it starts with that individual day. I recommend you start each day with something powerful. I call it the pure, the powerful, and the positive. Rather than starting your day with bad news, how many people got killed or how many children got snatched or how many fires there were, I recommend you start your day with something to inspire and empower and encourage you to make this day a great day. We're excited to announce the start of Jolley TV on my Facebook page. Go to Willie Jolley, Willie.Jolley on Facebook. Just go to Willie.Jolley on Facebook and get ready for a great day and a great life. Have a great day on purpose.
Motivated, highly motivated, gonna take it to the top.
And And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I'm so grateful to be on the air one more time. God has blessed me with another opportunity, and I want to encourage you again. Go to williejolly.com. Go to my nonprofit, jollygoodnews.org, as well as if you're going to be a speaker or you want to be a communicator, we're having jollyu.com. We're having our seminars, our Speak for Success seminar coming up soon, and then our Business Success seminar coming up soon. And my wife runs those, so go to Jolley, JOLLEY, you.com and find out when the seminars we're going to be having and when you can come. And also, I'm very grateful if you keep your eyes on Getting Motivated. I'm honored that I replaced my dear friend and mentor, Zig Ziglar, who passed away about a year ago. I'm now in his spot opening these sessions around the country, and we're coming to many cities over the next few months. So go to getmotivated.com, and you should also be able to go to my website and see those. Well, my guest today is the one and only, my dear friend, philanthropist, businessman extraordinaire, wisdom man. I like to call him wisdom man. He's Dr. Nido Qubein, and I say that wisdom man because one of the times I went to one of Nido's seminars, and there was a banker there. He was a banker. I think he was from Ohio, and he was retired. He had multi millions of dollars that he had amassed, and I asked him a question that had been intriguing me. I said, "Sir, why would you come to this seminar? You've already been successful. Why?" He said, "Young man, let me tell you something. When you're able to be around Solomon, you would do whatever you have to do to be there." And I think that's a good example. Nido has been a man of wisdom. He teaches, he grows wisdom. And wisdom is somewhat blessing, but also because you work on it and you develop it and you study and you think through and you're thoughtful. And I want to thank you, Nido, for encouraging me to take more time to be wise, even with the gifts I've been given, how to use them better. So God bless you and thank you. Our guest is Nido Qubein. Nido, I want to ask you a question. You were able to raise almost $1 billion, $1 billion to expand this university. And you did it in a tough economic time, but you did it through something very unique, through relationships. Let's talk about that.
Well, Willie, you can have God on your side, and more importantly, you can be on God's side. And we are on God's side. And I cannot really explain to you why we have been so blessed, but I can tell you this. There are different kind of capital. One kind of capital is money, it's financial capital. Another kind of capital is education, educational capital. Another kind is reputational. Reputation is what people think you are. Character is what God knows you are. Another kind of capital is physical. If you have the best ideas in the world, but your body is not cooperating with you, you don't have the energy or the good health with which to carry forth, then you're not going to be able to do what you want to do. So physical capital, exercise, eat well, get enough sleep, etc. But the most important, in my view, is relational capital. Your ability to exit circles of concern and enter circles of influence. Your ability to create a cadre of people in your life who can mentor you and coach you, advise you and support you, partner with you and be your associates. And that doesn't happen by merely asking them. And the good old advice that said, take someone to lunch for an hour, most of the people you want to be in your circle of influence are not going to respond to that. And most of them are going to think like I think. I don't think in terms of an hour. I think in terms of units of time. An hour has 12 units of time. Each unit equals 5 minutes. So when I have meetings, I usually give 1 unit or 2 units or 3 units, not because I'm stingy, but because time is the only item in your inventory that you simply cannot replace. Once it's gone, it's gone. So relational capital is the gift that keeps on giving. It's like when you have a good friend. You and I have been friends for a long time.
Yes.
So, we do things for each other. We recommend each other. We pray for each other. We say good things about each other. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Right.
And that's why it's important. You invest a lot at the front end. It's like growing children. Think of how much sacrifice we do with our children. But they grow up and they become successful and they and give us joy in our life in all kinds of ways, and support and fellowship. And so relational capital is so important. We have to build relationships. When I came to High Point University, I had totally underestimated how many really solid relationships that I had been able to grow over this many years. And how grateful and how blessed and how surprised I was that I knew so many people. For example, the chairman CEO of Ashley Furniture Company, who started in his garage with his company, did not have indoor plumbing in his house.
Wow.
And today he's a multi-billionaire. He's on the Forbes list of billionaires. He owns this huge company with his son that's the largest furniture company in the country, $4.5 billion in sales. And as a friend of mine, both he and his son have been tremendous benefactors to us at High Point University, giving us what you and I would call major, 9-figure gifts.
Wow.
This is significant. So relationships are everything. The question is, how do we form these relationships? Well, you got to give before you get. You got to be a person of value. You have to be the kind of person people want to hang around you. You can't always be having your hand out. You have to sort of give a hand up. You have to pay it forward. You have to be patient. You can't be a pest. All of these things that slowly bring us respect. But mostly, you have to make sure that your friends are introducing you to friends. And you have to be in places where these people of influence hang out. And anytime you can participate in a conference or speak at a meeting or attend any kind of event where there are people of influence, you might meet them in passing, but you can follow up. And what you'll find, as you found in your own life, Willie, as certainly as I found in my life, these people are really, really nice.
Yep.
When you meet a General Colin Powell, you're humbled by his humility.
Yep.
And yet he's intelligent and powerful, and as you know, he serves on our National Board of Advisors at High Point University.
Yes.
As does Steve Wozniak, as do so many others. In fact, next week I have the founder of Twitter coming here to speak, and then in September we have the founder of Netflix, and we're trying to get the founders of YouTube and Wikipedia. I mean, we want our students to be exposed to all the minds, all the people who had an idea and who started. And these students meet these speakers, and by the way, these speakers open all kinds of doors of opportunities for them. Wow. It's pretty remarkable.
Amazing.
Amazing. We'll recommend them and give them internships and so on. So you're right. Relationships really formulates the foundation upon which we can build good things in life.
Wow. You said something earlier, and I want to go back to it. You talked about risk, and if you take the risk out of life, you take opportunities out of life. And yet, many people don't know how to manage risk. And you have a formula, and myself and so many of your students who've come to your seminars have learned and used, and I've taught my children, I've taught my people who come to my seminars, I teach everybody, and I've said it before on this show, there's a formula that I think is the most profound risk taking or risk learning formula that you can identify risk. Would you share that, please, in a few?
Yes, thank you for that, Willie. It is a very, very solid formula. And before you make any major decision that involves time, energy, or money, you should really run those questions. First question is, what is the best thing that can happen as a result of taking this action? If somebody wants you to partner with them in a business, or if you were going to buy a real estate investment, whatever it might be, you ask yourself this question: what is the best thing that can happen as a result of taking this action? That's usually an easy answer to come up with. Second question: what is the most likely thing to happen? What is the most likely thing to happen? Usually, that's what ends up happening, the most likely thing to happen. And the third, what is the worst thing that can happen as a result of taking this action? What's the best? What's the most likely? What's the worst? And then here's how you make a decision. You say to yourself, if the most likely thing to happen will get me closer to my goals, and if I am willing to deal with the worst thing that can happen, I go for it. But if the most likely thing to happen will not get me closer to my goals, or if I am not willing to deal with the worst thing that can happen, then I need to run as fast as I can. because I'm about to make a terrible decision.
Wha-
And every time I've applied that in my own life, I have stayed away from trouble. And the couple of times that I did not apply that, or I let emotion get in the way of reason, I got slaughtered.
Wow. And folks, that is the secret to his success. He made wise choices, and when he didn't, he learned from them. You've been hearing from my dear friend. His name is Dr. Nido Qubein. I want you to go to NidoQ.com and get his free resources, buy his resources, pay whatever you got to pay, because like that banker said, if you get an opportunity to be around Solomon, what's it worth to you? It's no money. There's no price that's too high. Second thing I want you to do is I want you to go to highpoint.edu. Highpoint.edu. Send your child to go visit. Just do it. Trust me. And it will change your life. Thank you, Nido, for being on with me, my brother. I love you, my man.
Love you too, Willie. It's my pleasure, and I hope to see you in person soon.
I look forward to it. Kiss your beautiful bride, your family, and those new grandbabies, and I will see you soon. And folks, I want to thank all of you for listening. I want to say to you, stay committed, stay connected, and stay focused on your goals and dreams. And I'll talk to you next week. And remember, your best is yet to come. Go to williejolly.com, jollygoodnews.org, as well as jollyvt.com, so you can stay connected. And thank you to Lightspeed for being our sponsor. Have a great day. God bless you.
Are you tired of crying and complaining? Tired of feeling like life don't treat you fair? Do you see so many others moving on while you're steady going nowhere? Have you maybe come to the conclusion that there's nothing at all that you can do? Well, just look in any mirror and you'll see who is really truly stopping you. My. It's up to every one of us to take charge of our life and to make it what we want. If you think that it takes too much time, think again, 'cause I'm telling you it don't. The fact is,
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and people often ask, how did I go from a broke, busted nightclub singer to become a best-selling author and to be voted one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world by the 175,000 members of Toastmasters International? The answer is that I decided to invest and change my thinking, invest in my mindset, and decided to change my inputs, because inputs determine outputs. I heard about a seminar years ago when I was just getting started. I was making about $100 a speech. And I heard this seminar that was creating millionaires, and it cost $10,000, but the guy was getting results. I didn't have that kind of money, but I decided to borrow it, because I learned that there's a price for success, the price of college, the price of going to school, the price of education. And there's a price for success, and then there's a cost for not paying the price, the cost of staying the same. And that cost is greater than the price. It's too expensive. And so I went, and it changed my life. And I came back and quickly made $100,000. I heard a similar story from Dr. Dave Martin, how he went to a success rally, heard a speaker who inspired him. He and his friends said, wow, that's changed my life. The speaker had a package of materials to help build wealth. The package cost $1,500. And that was all the money Dr. Dave had to his name. Dr. Dave's friend asked, do you think this stuff is worth it? Dr. Dave thought for a moment. He said, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. But I do know that I'm worth it. I'm worth it. He invested that money in that package and used the materials to grow his thinking. He grew his mindset. He shared how that $1,500 investment has gone on to generate millions in revenues. He's a multimillionaire. And he has homes now in Arizona and Florida. I want to say to you, it's time to invest in you. I want to give you some materials that will help you, grow your mindset, grow your future, grow your finances. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire. wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get some materials that will inspire your success and will help you find that there's a price for success, but there's a cost for not paying the price. And the cost is always greater than the price. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire and get the bag, the box, or any of the materials there, and keep growing your wealth. And remember, as a man thinketh, so as he is, and your best is yet to come.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.